Hi, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the Lobo podcast. On this episode, we're gonna have Timmy Blaze. Timmy Blaze is one of the producers and one of the oldest mics in the Chicago suburbs comedy scene. See you next Tuesday in Plano at Mojo's. Great food there. Also, producer of Shots and Giggles in Joliet, not in the prison, but really great show. They have donuts. Been around forever. We're gonna talk about how he started comedy, actually, and how he started smoking weed. It involves America's pastime, baseball, a little bit. Not really, but yeah, we talk about my first time I get high. I talk about what's happening to that girl I'm talking to. So I don't know. Does it work out? Do I go to the wedding? I don't know. Listen and find out. He does hear about Miami a little bit. So unfortunately, it was a big part of my life around that time. Still kind of is. I don't know. But anyways, we also talk about, producing some disaster shows we had. Some really bad shows, producing some shows. I produced a show where somebody got shot in the balls, so listen into that. And also, Timmy's going to start his own podcast, right? It's going to be Beers for Fear. So I don't know if you guys ever watch Sightings. How do you feel about aliens? They're coming back, dude. Aliens, ghosts, they're all making a comeback, so check out his podcast. Also, he's a producer on the Happy Corner podcast with his sister, who I thought was his wife, but that's kind of weird, Amy Blaze. So, all right, check out this episode with Timmy Blaze.
Just Blaze.
Lobo them, lobo them, lobo them. Lobo them, lobo them, lobo them. Lobo them, lobo them.
I think I got it started. All right. Okay, this is the Lobo Den podcast. I'm not going to say which one it is because I've been banking these and I don't even know where I'm at.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. And then on today's podcast, I'm not going to say which number it is. We got Timmy Blaze. Hello, Timmy.
Hey, what's up, man?
Timmy Blaze, a very funny comment. Where did you grow up? In Joliet? Did you grow up in Joliet?
I grew up in Joliet-ish. It's like the next town over called Shanahan. I went to Minooka High School, which is where
Minooka. Let me write that down.
That's where Nick Offerman went to. Nick Offerman's dad was actually a history teacher. He was my seventh grade history teacher.
Really?
Yeah, and he bases the character of Ron Swanson a lot off of his dad.
Really?
Oh,
dude?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a video of them. They made a video together. They're fishing, and it's fucking hilarious. If you haven't seen it, I definitely.
No, I'll look it up, dude. I love that character. I love Offerman. So. Hey, Minooka, what's the deal with that town? I hear when I'm out here, I hear a lot of inside jokes about Minooka, or what's his name, getting pulled over in Minooka. What's the deal with the town? Is it very? What's his name? He's black. He had a kid with that tall chick. He ran the K2 comedy. Why can't I remember his
Rashad?
Rashad Clark.
Yeah.
Rashad Clark. He has a joke about being in Minooka and is a very white town because he's black.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So Joliet is a very diverse city.
Okay.
And then the next town over where I grew up is called Shanahan, and it's a smaller, a farm town.
Okay.
And it's so small it doesn't even have its own high school. So everyone who grew up in Shanahan, went to Shanahan schools, went to Minooka High School.
Minooka High School, okay.
And Minooka is Shanahan's an all right town, and it's, but yeah, Minooka is,
Is it farmy?
It's all cornfields.
It's all cornfields.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How was it like growing up and Minooka High School is what? Is that mixed more or is that?
So when I went there, there was one black dude, and he was a drummer in a death metal band.
Oh.
So all
right, that explains a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't super diverse, but it was Minooka. Their high school mascot's still the Indians.
Okay,
they will not change it.
How does he look? The particular Indian.
It's
logo?
An absolute the profile of a Native American.
Okay,
100%.
But it's not what's the guy? The guy from the is it the Indians? That was
it's
with the big teeth?
No. It's
not that
the
extreme.
overly cartoonized. Thankfully, it's like a normal a side view of a Native American.
A normal indigenous.
But Shanahan and Minooka, though, that's the thing. They do have a history with Native Americans in that area.
Oh, okay.
And Shanahan, where I grew up, that's where the Des Plaines and the I&M Canal and a bunch of other rivers. And so Shanahan is Native American for where the rivers meet.
Oh.
And everything out there is Three Rivers Library and Three Rivers Festival and all that shit, because that's where the waters converge.
It's like a Wisconsin name almost, Minooka. Have you?
Yeah, Minooka and yeah. So Shanahan, that's how it's Native American for where the waters meet, and then Minooka, I don't know what the fuck that's. But that was the thing. So growing up in Shanahan, Minooka was like the rival. I played like.
What'd you play? You played sports?
Oh God, yeah, dude. I played baseball for fucking.
Were you good?
8 years. I have 2 older brothers, and we're all really good at baseball.
What positions you play?
I played everything. I liked playing catcher. That was one of my favorites. But I played a little bit of everything. I did pitch. But
what pitches you got?
That was a lot of. So I throw short arm.
What does that mean?
Which is kind of in between throwing overhand and sidearm. So I'm like right in between.
Okay.
So my fastball would naturally kind of move around. But I stopped playing right before high school. So we're talking like pee-wee, but like almost T-ball, all the way up into probably like 13, 14.
Why'd you stop playing?
Definitely not because I discovered weed and smoked a lot of weed and would rather smoke weed and play video games than play sports.
That's sarcasm, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I never pick up on any type of sarcasm. People,
Really?
I swear, people like right now was like, wait a second, I think this is sarcasm. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think because
I don't want to be straight up like it was weed's fault, but that's really when I started getting into.
How'd you get into smoking weed? Who was it? A cousin or somebody at school? A friend?
Older brother. I'll say, yeah, fuck it. I'll say it was long enough ago. I had a buddy who we were pretty tight, and him and I we never fucking did anything, never like touched a thing. And I knew my brother had a birthday party coming up, and one of his buddies was like, "I'm gonna bring it," and so he told me, he's like, "I'm gonna have it. If you want to check it out, go for it. If not." No big deal. So I totally used my buddy as like a cop out. Like, well, I'm going to ask my buddy, and if he's down, I'll do it. But if he doesn't want to, man, like I'm going to respect his wishes, and, we won't do it. But if he's down, I'm down. Like thinking in my head, like there's
He's not gonna
no
do it.
way.
There's no way he's gonna do it.
There's no way. And I'm like, hey man, there's gonna be marijuana at this party. And he's like, fuck yeah, let's try it. And I'm like, okay, here we go.
Would you get a joint, a blunt,
a bowl? So my first time was out of a bong.
Okay.
And it was super confusing because
that's a big hit to take your first time.
I didn't know shit about anything. It was a bong, but it wasn't like, you're probably thinking like a traditional bong,
water
like the
bong
tube that comes up. But yeah, it was a water bong where it was actually like a hose that came out, and people were sucking on that, and there was a base, and it was bubbling. And I, being naive and way too young, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because it seemed to me like they were blowing into it. Because it was bubbling. And like I said, I don't know what was on. So I'm seriously like, somebody hands it to me, and I'm like, do I blow into it? Do I suck it? And someone's like, just give it. And I'm like, no, I want. And they're like, you suck on, you idiot. Like, in what world does it make sense that you blow into this thing and then suddenly you're high?
When you shotgun a chick.
Well, yeah, that's completely different though.
That was a dick move of me. Okay,
no, it's all
sorry.
right. So I took I started hitting it, and I don't really think I felt anything the first time I smoked, probably because I didn't inhale. I didn't do it right.
Yeah.
But after that, I'm like, I'm a pothead now. And so, yeah, I mean, fuck.
Do you remember, when was the first time you actually hit you? Do you remember the first time you got high? I remember.
It was probably like the second or third time after that, because I was like, oh, I'm fucking cool now. Like, of course. But yeah, the second or third time after that. And I remember, this is now like my reference point of when you're like really fucking high. Like I call that junior high stoned, because like that was like the stonedest I've ever been.
I could still get
I
like
described it to somebody as my vision. It was very flat, like depth was really weird, and it seemed to me like I was watching everything on a movie screen. It was very surreal. And what was funny was at the time, I was just telling somebody this at the time, my brother's friend, who was usually the one who brought it over, we would smoke, and I would get way too high, and I'd want to go like lay down and like go to bed, and he's like, that's a fucking waste, you can't do that. And like back then I'm like, oh yeah, I guess maybe it is, but now it's like, dude, that's pretty much how I get to sleep. It's like, oh, it's almost bedtime, let's fucking smoke well and go to bed.
I remember the first time I tried to get high, what we did is, my mom is Mexican, and they have this weed. They put in alcohol to use to rub on your joints for pain.
Okay.
So they try to get this weed thing. It's a bunch of grandmas. They all have it, right?
Yeah.
So me and my buddy, we saw it. So we took the weed, And then we took it out, and then we took it to some. We were at some, I don't know, like not a camp, something in more South Illinois for us, because he was my half black friend.
Yeah.
Jerome. He was half black, half white.
Okay.
His mom was white, kind of like a Dolezal. His mom was white, but always was only with black dudes, and she would wear like the African Queen shirt. The thing.
Okay.
And then Miss Sandra Bird, lovely lady. So then we're at a thing together, right? That's where I had my first time I had meatloaf was at her house. I never had that growing up. Yeah, I didn't. Mexicans, we didn't have meatloaf. But then we dried it out and we tried to smoke it out of. We rolled up aluminum foil and tried to bend it. And we tried it, and I'm like, and then we went into the bathroom and took the filter thing from the bottom of the faucet, and we put that as the mesh. I don't know. And then nothing happened though, and nothing happened. And then I didn't get high. And then one time I got high. I used to caddy. I started caddying again because I don't know if you heard, I'm hard up for money. I went to Miami a month ago and blew $4,000 one night with these strippers, and then yeah, dude, yeah. And then so then I work every weekend. Now I caddy usually 2-3 times a year in the last few years for a tournament, whatever, extra money.
Is that like super good money?
Yeah, decent money. But now I'm there every Saturday and Sunday at 6:15. And then I think I already made my money back. But yeah, I work 7 days a week now. But anyways, what? Oh, the first time we were at the Caddy Shack, a bunch of stuff happens there. There was like gambling. Yeah. And then one of my friends had weed, and he's like, come on, hit this joint. I was like, all right. And I remember I hit it, and I was eating a ramen noodle soup. And I remember when it hit, because I was like, I've never hit it before. And I finally hit it, whatever it was, the bowl or the joint. And then I felt the cough because I finally inhaled, and I spit out my ramen noodle soup, and then I was high. And I remember I was just laughing, and one of my older friends who felt like a mentor to me started yelling at that guy. He's like, how can you get him high? He can't handle this. I was 16 or something like that, or 17 or 16 or 17, but then...
I feel like 18 is probably the appropriate age for that. I started it, dude, I was like... it's so shitty saying this now because I see kids that age and I'm like, I was fucking I was probably like 13 or 14 the first time that I smoked. Yeah. It was very... No, it definitely was...
What did you enjoy doing when you were high? You just watch shows, hang out with your friends?
Oh, we would definitely watch TV. I know when I really started getting into smoking was like 99, 2000. So I was probably like 16, 17.
That's a song.
And and Adult Swim was like the big thing. So, dude, we would get fucking baked. And back then, it would be like Space Ghost, Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my fucking jam. And
I tried to do a Space Coast like comic strip. Me and my buddy, the guy who I think he designed the art for this. Yeah, he still draws, but he designed the art for the podcast. Yeah, we tried to do a little comic strip because he would always watch Space Ghost.
Yeah, and every once in a while I'll get like a crazy. I'll be like, dude, I need to watch some Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, or I went on a C-Lab.
Did you ever watch Duckman?
Yes, I did.
On USC, Duckman.
I like that. One of my favorite cartoons, and it actually started on UPN, but made its way to Adult Swim because UPN canceled it, was Home Movies.
I don't know if I remember that
and
one.
That was the one about three 8-year-olds, Brendan, Jason, and Melissa, that were all friends. They played soccer together, and they made like their own little movies. And the episodes would be like half them getting into shenanigans and then like half them their movies. And it was ridiculous. It was really funny. But Brendan Small, who the main character is based off of, who created the show, went on to create Metalocalypse, and he plays in the band. Do you know Metalocalypse? No. That was... is this a straight metal band or is this a parody thing? Okay, so it's a little bit of both. Okay. It's a parody. It was a show... The band is called Death Clock. The show is called Metalocalypse, and it was an Adult Swim show, so each episode's like 11 minutes. Mm-hmm. And there is one where like they go to this town and they play a concert and they awaken this lake troll. Okay, this huge troll like awakens, and they go to the bar and they're like, yeah, we're just going to drink like 100 beers. Because, and they're like, no, you can't do anything, so they have to like go and like put the lake troll back to sleep. It's this whole thing, but it's serious, but at the same time like really parodying like metal and music scene and band. Metalocalypse. Yeah. I'll look it up. I haven't seen. So Brendan Small is the creator of it, and he plays a lot of the music. And the band is called Death Clock. And then Death Clock will go on tour, and they'll like drop a screen and show the cartoon characters, and then him and an actual band play behind it. So this is cartoon in real life. Yes.
Together?
Yes.
I can't think
Kind
of
of like gorillas.
Like gorillas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was talking to a girl. We called her Gorillas. She looked like the girl from Gorillas.
Nice.
No, she looked. Well, I didn't know. The first day I met her, I was really high, and I don't smoke a lot, or
Right.
I do, or I don't sometimes. I was high, and I wasn't drunk. And I remember I met her at this local bar I went to in the fall. And I blew a lot of my money on. Oh God, another one. Anyways, I didn't learn. But yeah, I remember I met her. My friend's like, I was like, dude, are you sure you want to talk to this girl? Like, she doesn't. Dude, she looks like one of the gorillas.
Damn.
And I was like, no, dude. She's a nice body. Or no. And I got her number on Snapchat. This time I was getting people's numbers, getting Snapchats.
Yeah.
And then the next day we met up at this bright bar.
Yeah.
Very bright
right.
lit bar, right? And then I go and then I meet her there and I see her and I'm like, oh my God, is this the same? I was like,
Did you think it was a completely different chick?
I was like, well, it was like, it didn't make sense to me because I wasn't drinking. I was just high and full.
Yeah.
Because I ate a lot of food. I purposely got high. I was at my friend's house like, look, I don't want to go out. I'm not going to the bar. I'm going to get high as fuck and I eat a bunch of food so I'm full.
Right.
And then we started watching reggaeton. Do you know what reggaeton is? It's basically like Spanish. It's kind of rap, but mixed with singing.
Okay.
Like Daddy Yankee.
Oh, okay.
Or Bad Bunny. That's
okay.
You know, okay, reggaeton. So you started watching reggaeton videos, and I was like, I just saw it, and I was like, yeah, dude, we gotta go to the club. This bar's 5 minutes from my house. It ruined my fall last year because it was 5 minutes from my house, literally.
Oh, yeah.
And my
That's
buddy was a
dangerous.
part owner, and he invested in it, and there was just all these younger Mexican thoughts there. Oh my God, dude. So I go there, and I'm really high and full. So in my head, it's like, there's no way. It's not a bad judgment call. I didn't have any alcohol. I just have food, and I'm really high. And then the next day I saw her, and I was like, I freaked out, and I went outside, and I called my buddy. He's like, dude, what do I do? Okay, this is what you do, Jovi. You go inside. He kind of sounds like Cleveland. He's like, you go inside, tell that your ex or your baby mama's there. You don't want any drama.
Oh, geez.
And then, and then I was like, okay, I go. So I go, and then and then I'm about to tell her that, but then her friends show up. They're really hot, and I was with my other buddy that dragged along, and I was like, you know what? I want him. Maybe he could get something out of this, dude. I was like, so I was like, you know what? I'll take one for the team, kind of. And then, I was like, all right. I keep kind of talking to her, and then I see some other girl that I met that I already knew. I was like, all right, I'll go talk to her.
Yeah.
And then she'll see me talking to this girl. She'll kind of maybe leave me alone a little bit. No. As I'm talking to the girl, she's standing 2 feet behind me, just waiting. I swear to God, just waiting. And I'm like, and then she tugs at me a little bit. Hey, can you buy me a drink? And I'm like, and I'm talking to this girl still, and I'm like, okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go buy. And the girl that like I kind of dig, she sees the gorillas behind me, and I was like, I gotta buy this. It is so good.
Wow.
So I go and I buy her a drink, and when I go to buy her a drink, I see this other girl that used to go to these comedy shows that I produced. And then this girl, she's like, "Oh, how you been?" I just go up to her and say hi to her. I'm like, "Oh, how have you been?" And she's like, "Oh my, I haven't seen you in so long. Oh, how you been?" And then she latches on to me, like she started. So then I was like, you know what? This is perfect. I'll talk to this girl, and she'll leave me alone. So now I'm with this girl, buying her drinks. She's really close to me, but the other girl would still come up to the bar with the girl and be like, "Can you buy me a drink?" And and I felt bad because I invited her here, and it's like I already felt guilty. You know what I mean? Because I'm ugly shaming, I guess. I don't know.
But I mean, like, clearly she showed up just with the intention of having you buy her drinks all night.
Well, I didn't think of it at the time. I felt bad.
Yeah.
That I was,
Yeah. See, okay, so here's the thing with me. I don't drink.
I stopped drinking.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So I never.
You never drank or you stopped?
I don't want to say I never drank, and I do get it a lot when I'm like, oh yeah, because in comedy all the time, people, oh, let me buy you a drink, let me buy you a shot.
You must be rich.
No. I smoke a lot of weed. Here's the thing: I don't drink, I don't smoke cigarettes. Okay. But people are like, damn, the money you save, and I'm like, goes directly into smoking weed and playing video games.
Okay.
For the most part. Well, and now that I'm single too, like I'm like.
How newly single are you? I'm newly.
The last relationship ended in March.
Okay.
So single, new-ish.
Okay.
Not really.
I got dumped this weekend by my non-girlfriend on Sunday.
By your non-girlfriend?
No, it was a girl I started talking to when I came back from Miami.
Yeah.
And she kind of started pushing things really fast.
Yeah.
And so now we're talking all the time on the phone. We're gonna hang out, and then she called when I got back from Miami. I was broke and I was depressed. I spent all that money, so I went with Peniel. I did Peniel's podcast, and I talked about it. So he put out the podcast, and then I remember I don't know if my sister shared it on Twitter or where she grabbed it from, but she was in Wisconsin Dells with her family.
Yeah.
Her and her whole family, like, we want to hear this podcast. No. She was on a siblings trip with all the siblings.
No.
Yeah, and then with all the siblings, and then they put it on a speaker, like by a fire, and they all listen to it. So they're listening to me talking about, being in a hotel room, doing coke off of hookers' asses, and
oh my goodness,
breaking a toilet, cutting my toe, and I was like, I partied with them till like 5 p.m. And anyways, I did a lot of cocaine.
That story is it makes my story I was going to tell so tame.
What's your story?
Well, I was just going to say, like, I was talking to a chick and then she ghosted me, which that's not the strange part at all.
Okay.
Like, that happens all the time. But then, like, after like a week and a half, she messaged me to be like, I'm really sorry, and like kind of explain herself as to what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, thanks for like being honest and like explaining the situation and letting me know what's going on. And then we had like one more small conversation back and forth, and then she ghosted me again. So
what was the situation?
It was. She said it was she had she's got kids, so I don't know if you like fuck around with chicks who have kids.
I used to before Miami.
Before Miami changes.
It changed me a lot. So when I came back, I was hanging out with anybody really,
right.
And then I came back and I was like, I was so broke. Like for about 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. My bank account was just negative. Like, I get direct deposit every Friday, and it was just less negative. For like 2 weeks, I was like, oh, now I'm net. And I was like, oh. And I finally hit where I finally went into the positive. And I was like, and then now, as soon as I got back, I went back to caddying. That Saturday I worked. That Sunday I worked. So I was just working. So now I was like, look, I'm working every day. And I signed up for Uber to try to do, I haven't gotten any trips yet, but I was like, I gotta be dedicated to it.
Yeah. So here's a cool thing with that though, because I'm in the same, like, I work at a warehouse. I work 6 days a week. I'm off only on Sundays. Every other Sunday I'm helping my sister Timmy Blaze with her podcast, the Happy Corner.
Happy Corner.
Yeah. I help run the sound for that. So it's like I work so much and do so much with my time that it doesn't give me time to go and like spend all my money and like be all stupid about it. So you got to find that sweet spot where you're working so much and you're making so much money, but you don't have time.
It was like I have so little time that if I'm going to talk to a chick, it has to be worth my while.
Exactly.
Because before I was just any Waukegan thought rats, dude. Just these. I remember when my buddy walked in at the bar and I'm sitting there with these two girls and this bottle I bought that cost me probably $150, and he walked in sober. Right, he walked in sober and late, and he was like, he looked around, and I saw he had that look like, what are we doing here? Like, why? Yeah. Like, what is the point of this? And it was funny to see that look in his face. But after Miami, I was like, I can't. So then I started kind of talking to this girl. They were at the Dells. She FaceTime calls me with her family, and her sister wants to talk to me and everything because they all listen to the podcast. So now she's introducing me to her family, and then the next week we start talking on the phone every day. Now next week I meet her at a bar after, I think, cigars, and then again introducing me to her family, and then she's leaving that weekend to Nashville, but before she goes, she's like, I got a wedding I'm going to go to. Can you come? She invites me to a wedding, and I'm like, and I just go along with it. I'm like, sure, I'll go. So she was moving things really fast, but then I think, and I usually listen to my friends, but this time I didn't. They're like, dude, Giovanni, don't make yourself too available. Don't be too thirsty. Nobody likes that. And I was like, I think this time it's different. And then it was. And then we hung out Friday. The Saturday, kind of distant a little bit. And we're supposed to hang out on a Tinder date because her friend had a Tinder date.
Okay.
And then...
Oh, and you're doing like a double...
And she was like, her friend asked her, and she asked me, and I was like, sure, right? And that's probably one of the times I should have been like, no, I'm busy. I have a life. But no.
Because that's one of those... That early into talking to someone, I'd be like, oh, no, I got a thing.
Yeah, I should have.
As a comedian, it's so easy. I got to
Yeah, I should have. But I was like, in my head, I was like, I think this time it's different. And then...
It's never different.
No, it's not. That's what I learned this time. And then it's not. It's not. So then I remember I was like... And then next day I sent her a good morning text, and I'm caddying. I'm working, right? And then I get this the text message. It was like, oh, you know, what is it? Let me see if I can pull it up. It was
Is it like 4.5 pages?
No, it was just, you know, I'm an honest person. I need to tell you something. And it's like, oh, I was like, because I'm caddying, right? And it's like a little tournament I'm caddying for. Where is it at? Oh, there it is. This is how it starts. As you know, I try to be an upfront person. I need to be very honest with you. I move very fast, and I'm realizing it was way too fast for me. And then there's more to it. And I was just like, I was sitting there, and I was like, I was in a good mood. I was like caddying for these guys, and you know, it's a tournament, so I'm helping them out. And I was just like, the next few holes, like the other caddy I was with, and I'm just like, yeah, I just 2 balls to the right.
Oh no!
Hit a 7-iron. But then I got in a better mood.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? I was telling the other caddy, I'm saving money, $80,
Yes.
because I bought sheets, comforter, and 2 pillows the night before.
Yeah.
Because my friend's like, dude, she's gonna come over your shitty ass sheets and pillow. I was like, you're right, dude. I'm gonna get something nice. So I diffused my room with 2 diffusers. I bought all this stuff, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to Target right after my loop, and I'm returning the comforter, the sheets, the pillow.
Well, wait.
Okay, continue.
Wait, hold on.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Okay, so but don't you have intentions down the line to try to get laid? Like, why wouldn't you just keep those sheets and comforter, man? Like,
yeah, my friend was saying that, but it's like, you know what? I'm not gonna. I don't think. Maybe I'm putting myself down here, but in my thought, it's like I'm not gonna. The next few chicks I sleep with are probably not ones I care if I have sheets or not. It's like it's just
they're
gonna,
like, hey, you have sheets, and
like
that's
I don't want to say
a one-up.
punching bags, but like punching bags. I don't know.
Right.
Just
I don't know, man. Like, I'm the kind of person I like to just after a relationship, and if I'm not taking it well, I will do the thing where I'm like, okay, so like after the one relationship back in March, I was like, all right, fuck it, new phone. I got a new phone. I got my eye exam finally, which I needed to do for fucking years.
I just bought these yesterday. I was depressed at work, and I was like, I'm getting AirPods. I don't care. Yeah.
I got my Android watch. I do all these things to like upgrade, and I'm like thinking after like other relationship multiple times after relationship, like, fuck it, I'm just buying a whole new the same thing, sheets, comforter, pillow, everything. Just
see, I did it before, but I was like, you know what? She's not coming over. The next girls I sleep with, they're getting fucked on my regular sheets with my Mexican blankets and the one pillow.
And they'll
I have.
like it.
Yeah, and they'll like it.
it.
All right,
Yeah.
they'll like it. And that's
that's true.
Because they're gonna like it. I'm not. I put her too much on a pedestal, and then. So then
I feel that, dude, because I always tell chicks, like, the first time we hang out, like, no pickup line I ever tell you will impress you as much as the amount of time I just use to clean my bathroom. Because, dude, I live in a shitty little 2-bedroom with, like, a buddy from high school in Joliet, and, like, dude, we're both bachelors. We don't give a fuck. So, yeah. Whenever I have a chick over, it's like, it usually involves me, like, taking a Sunday to, like, clean, and he's like, all right, you giving a chick over? And I'm like,
yeah, that always happens. And my friend,
Yeah.
he's cleaning. He's like, Joey, we need to clean. This is a mess. And it's like, oh, okay, someone's coming over. Right?
Yep,
That's
exactly.
what I did. I was running 2 diffusers in the room. I bought Resolve to clean stains in my carpet. I think.
Right.
And
Well,
then,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think it was. And then,
I know.
And I bought all these things. I got my teeth cleaned.
Nice.
Because my friend's like, dude, you know, you're gonna go talk to this girl with you haven't had cleaning like in 5 or 6 years. I was like, you're right, dude. It's supposed to be every 6 months. So I got my teeth cleaned, and I was sitting at the dentist. I was like, it's funny because the dentist this is Monday right after it happened, and the hygienist was going like brutal with me, and she's like, you know, you want a break or something like that, and I was like, no, I was just thinking, I was like, look, you it's not gonna hurt. The physical's not gonna hurt as much as I'm hurt right now. Just go at it. It kind of felt good, dude. It really was like, oh man, I wish it was pretty painful. But now I got AirPods.
That's funny.
But look, I save. I'm not going to the wedding.
Right.
I save money, and I get to caddy. That's an extra $300, and then is someone coming in? What's going on?
They're fine.
Oh, they're fine. But. Oh, you know what? That's what I'm going to ask you. How'd you start doing comedy? That's what I wanted to ask you.
I started right here. This was the first place I ever did
Did you guys start it? Who ran it before this?
No.
What's the history of this mic? This is a very famous mic. We're at Mojo's in Plainfield.
This is, see you next Tuesday. It's Comedy Open Mic. We do this Tuesday and every Tuesday in the Speakeasy of Mojo's in downtown Plainfield. I only know that because I've said it every Tuesday for the last fucking 3.5 years.
Who's is this the longest running suburb mic?
I don't think so. No. Okay, so this mic was started. The guy who always closes out the show, he goes by DJ G-Spot.
Yeah.
Gabriel Ortiz.
Okay.
He's actually my boss in another way. He owns a trivia company, and host bar trivia on Wednesday nights. That's my Wednesday. That's why you'll never see me at a Wednesday night open mic, because I'm always hosting bar trivia.
What, is it a specific trivia you do, or is it different?
It's potpourri. It's pretty much anything and everything. So he started this mic a little over, I think we hit 5 years back in April, and he started it with a kid who was doing comedy at the time named Johnny P.
I don't think I know Johnny P.
Yeah, he's not really around much anymore, which is a bummer. He was a funny dude. So they had this mic. It was their thing.
Wait, is Johnny P white, black?
He's a skinny white dude. He's like a little hippie dude. He's actually in like a jam band.
Oh, okay.
Right now, I believe. So they started it, and I found out. I used to work at a warehouse right down the street, and this dude that I work with was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I'm a comedian. I'm fucking hilarious." And I'm like, "Where do you do comedy, in the city?" Because I'd always like thought about stand up, but I didn't think it was something that was even accessible around here. So he's like, "Yeah, no, Mojo's like right up the street." And I'm like, "How long can you do? Can you talk about anything? If I say fuck a lot, is that cool?" Like all this shit. And I literally the next week like wrote a 5-minute set and came here. And it was funny because his tone shifted real quick. He's like, "Well, I mean, it's not for everybody. I mean, you." And I'm like, "No, I always wanted to try it. Like, fuck it, why not?" So my sister Amy, who is also a co-producer here and also a comedian, she was interested too, but she was like, "I'm just gonna go there one week and check it out." And I'm like,
"That's how she talks. You did her manners
exactly,
well. That's pretty
exactly."
Cool. Okay.
No, but I was like, I can't do that, because if I go there and I'm like, I'll check it out, I know me, I'll never go back. There's a chance I'll just never go back.
You got to do it.
Yeah, just do it. Fuck it. So I came here and I put my name on the list, and dude, I over prepared a 5-minute set. Like, it was such a tight 5 minutes. I had to drop jokes because I didn't even consider like laughter to
you don't think about that. You don't think about that.
I mean? And I knew that when you're nervous you talk faster and stuff like that, so I made sure, like, I'm like, no, this is gonna be 5 minutes. So we came here, I did my set. I had a fucking blast. It was so much fun. Really hot room. I mean, like, when I started coming to this mic, it was like hopping every night.
Who are some of the comics that, when you started, that were there? Any comics that we still...
Sure. I think one of the first comics I ever talked to was Alex Rockman.
Okay.
Who's still around. I think he's on a little hiatus now. But him and Steve Comanduli. I believe Nick Foscaris.
Steve Comanduli.
Yeah, he's not around.
Right. Both got girl and grabs his beard.
Yeah,
he told me at Fly with the Abbey, he's like, I gotta stop grabbing my beard.
Yes,
it
was like a nervous thing he had, and then he would rest his beer like right on a certain part of his shirt. He would start getting holes.
Oh,
like on his shirt from resting his beer there all the time. Who else did I? One of the first people I had a run-in with in the comedy scene was Ian Ellis, who. So I believe Ian and Johnny and Gabe Johnny P all started this room.
Okay.
And then Ian moved to California. And then it was just Johnny and Gabe. And that's when I started coming here. And then after a handful of weeks, Ian had moved back. So I know he was around. David Sitko, definitely.
Oh, Sitko,
and Sean Blaha. They had a mic in Lamont on Thursday nights called Go Down for Comedy. And you know how like a good mic, like it's good 3 out of 4 weeks, and then like one's kind of and it's maybe a little bit of shit show. Like Go Down for Comedy was always a shit show. Like you would get one every once in a while that was really banging, but it was a complete fucking shit show all the time. So
what do you remember what you talked about? Your first set? Do you ever record it?
Yes, I have a video recorded.
You video recorded? Yes. What were like some of the premises or something? You don't have to do the jokes, but
that was, I was talking about like, it's so funny now. Like, as a open mic producer, you see like the new classes come in, and you can almost make a bingo card of like comics who are doing their first set or just started. Like they're probably gonna
rape,
talk about
incest, abortion, rape, incest.
Hitler. Yes.
Yeah.
I did talk about abortion my first set.
I fucked my mom.
But my bits about abortion.
Wait, my first set, I did a joke about fucking my mom. I never fucked my mom.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that wasn't just like a a statement you had to slip in just to see like if anyone noticed. Like, yeah, open mics are cool. I fucked my mom. So my first set, I really. But no, I talked about because at the time weed was legal in Colorado, but that was it. And when Obama had visited Colorado, somebody tried to hand him a joint.
A joint.
Yeah. And I referenced that and was like, why is it that, that's legal there, but if you walked, X amount of miles in any direction, it's not, and that's fucked up. And then I think I segued that into abortion and then
Hitler.
Of course,
fucking
yeah.
your mom.
Yeah.
Fucking Giovanni's mom.
Yeah. But it ended with a bit about the people who sit on like the corners and hold up like the abortion signs and all that shit. And I mean that's
Rebecca Gibson's dad.
Is he one of
he's a protester at the he would bring her along.
Oh no.
Yes,
see, that's what always would hurt me, like, because
but
like
all the kids, black, Mexican, all have interracial kids.
Yeah.
Because of the dad. So I always tell Rebecca, like, look, man, your dad, look what he did. Like, with his racist ways, he created this utopia. Like, all the kids, black, Mexican, nobody that has a kid or married a white, not a non-white, yeah.
But, yeah, so that was my first set here. And then it's one of those things, like, when people are like, oh, I've been doing stand-up now for, I've been doing it for 5 years. So I went up my first time here. I did decent, had a lot of fun. Amy went up the following week for the first time, and we were here literally every week since then. And it was about 1.5 years of coming here every week before the mic was kind of handed over to me. Johnny P is a really good kid. When they started the mic, he was just really young. There wasn't a lot of organization that went into it, unfortunately. So the mic, it was a magical open mic, and there'd be people here all the time, but there'd be some weeks you'd come here and be like, hey man, who's hosting tonight? And you'd be like, you? And you're like, oh, no, I'm not. I don't. So it got to a point where, that was starting to reflect on certain aspects of the mic, the list not getting out in time, issues with other whatever. So he pretty much asked me if I wanted to take it over, and I was like, absolutely yes. And then it was only a matter of a handful of weeks that I took it over. I don't think I was working at the time. I had gotten laid off, so I was like, oh, fuck yeah. And then, of course, right after I took it over, I got a job and had to like start waking up early and all that shit. So I was like, Amy, I could use the help. So that's when I brought on Amy, and so her and I have been running it now for 3.5 years, I believe. And we just celebrated the 5-year anniversary, like I said, back in April. So that's the funny thing. This mic celebrated the 5-year anniversary in April, and then Amy and I celebrated our 5-year anniversary in comedy in August.
August?
Yeah. So, we just hit 5 years.
Were you always a producer at Donuts?
Drunken Donut.
Drunken Donut
Shots and
from the
Giggles?
beginning?
No.
No, you got it on later?
A little bit later. Yeah, okay, so...
Who started that?
That was Cameron and Otter.
Okay.
And the story about that is I had met a comic.
Otter Alex Jones, right? Is he still doing comedy?
So Otter has started doing comedy again.
Oh, okay.
He got back into comedy. I just gave him microphones with him on Thursday.
Okay.
He did really well. I believe he placed in the top 3.
Okay.
And then Saturday at Shots and Giggles at the Donut, we had a literal 11th hour last minute dropout. One of the comics who was booked had his wife had twins. And so, obviously, they couldn't make it. So we knew he was already going to be there, and instead of scrambling around and trying to figure out who to fill the spot, we just asked, hey, do you think you could do 10 minutes? And he was super grateful, and then we made him go up first, which, dude, always fucking sucks. And he went up, and he had a great set. He got the room going, and he really kind of started the night off to a really high energy night. It was great.
That's the first well-run show I ever took. My one buddy who's come to a few shows, he's been to my two worst shows I've ever had.
Yeah.
He's been to them, the hell shows.
Oh, no.
You ever do the Bolingbroke Tilted Kilt when T. Murph used to run it?
No.
Oh, did you hear about that show?
No, but you just say a mic at a tilted kilt, and that tells
no
me.
stage.
Right.
TVs didn't go off.
Right.
Nobody knew comedy was going on.
People
We'd
are
start,
getting forced comedy forced upon them.
Yeah, and there's no stage. So I was just walking around because it was me, T. Murph, Peter Daniel, Schmitty B, Amy Shanker.
Oh, that's a good.
And
that's
then,
a good lineup.
yeah, it was good. That's where I met. Yeah, I think first time I met everybody. Maybe Peter. I might have done a show in Joaquin with him before.
It's probably people like looking around, like, where is that voice coming from?
Dude, it was, and then I remember T. Murph asked me, "Hey, can I tell you guys, you want to turn off the TVs or you want to leave them on?" And I didn't know, and I was like, we leave them on, get more people, maybe, I don't know, more people come in. I forgot what he said. There was some positive he said, or we could turn them off,
And piss
people
people
leave,
off.
piss people off. And I was like, one of my first shows, leave them on. Wow,
Dude, in this situation, anything you do is going to piss
yeah,
people
dude,
off.
it didn't matter. So I was just walking around like, I'd see somebody would kind of pay attention to me,
Right.
and I was like, oh, I'm doing comedy to this table, and
Yeah.
and I did like 20, like almost 30 minutes, and I had 10.
Yeah.
But I was like, he wasn't giving me the light because I saw that Amy Shanker wasn't there yet. So I'm thinking, like, is he trying to extend
you're
it?
probably stretching.
Is he having me stretch? What am I doing? And I didn't want to. I remember Peter didn't. He was like, fuck that. He set a timer on his phone. He did 7 minutes. The timer went off and he got off the stage.
Well, right, because it was probably, especially if,
yeah. He's like, fuck that.
that's rough. That's
yeah.
rough.
And, I was a newbie and I was like, do I just keep going? I didn't want to look bad in front of T. Murph. So I was like, all right, So I learned some type of crowd. I don't even know. And then the other show I did was, Jordan Hart. He ran a show in, I think, Portage or Porter, Indiana.
No.
Right now he had a beef maybe with Tim Slagle on Facebook. I'm not sure.
That sounds like a thing.
Yeah, this the Indiana show I did. I remember you could still smoke inside.
Okay, yeah.
And then somebody threatened to hit me. We were getting heckled by the owner.
Okay.
All of us were getting heckled by the owner. He was drunk in the corner heckling all the comics. The owner of the bar.
Nice.
And then one of the guys, and I started when I went up there, I started kind of making fun of the owner, and one of his friends went up to me on stage. He's like, you say one more thing about Steve or whatever. He's like, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, but then I called out the crowd. I told the people, I was like, look, he said he's going to punch me in the face. And everybody started yelling at him. And then, two people
geez.
quit. 2 bartenders quit that night.
Wow.
One of them in the middle of somebody said, she's like, fuck you, and quit. And later another one quit. But
What
more
kind
subtly,
of establishment is this?
dude. And at the end of the night, I remember Jordan, man, God bless him. He goes up to the bartender to go collect the money, and the bartender, the owner, to collect the money. He goes up to him after all that shit show,
Yeah.
and then he's like, I need to get my comics paid. The owner pays him.
Yeah.
And he just looks at him. He's like, I just been going through some shit, and then that was me.
It's so weird.
And he was just drunk. I think he was just got dumped or something like that. And it was depressed. I don't know. That was those were my worst shows.
It's so weird. People who heckle so often think that they're like doing you a favor.
Well, they don't know. A lot of times
Right.
you can get rid of the
Right.
hecklers if you ahead of time tell them, hey, no heckling.
Right.
But if you don't bring it up, some people really don't know. Like like I did K2. Well, he said something about Jews or
Oh yeah, that'll
that was
probably
kind of
get some
weird.
people
And
So my biggest shit show, and then first how I got involved in Shots and Giggles at the Drunken Donut. So this has potential shit show written all over it. So I had a coworker who had a buddy who was also a comic in the scene, and he's a really funny dude. He doesn't really do stand up anymore. So he introduced us, and we met each other. But we had never seen each other's comedy. You know what I mean? Like, we had just met.
You don't want to say his name?
It's Ray Spires. I know for a fact he doesn't do comedy anymore.
Okay.
But he was around when I started.
Okay.
So I met Ray, and Cameron Little was doing Shots and Giggles with Otter. At the time, it was just comedy at the Drunken Donut. And one month they had booked a show, but the owner of the donut stand was actually out of the country. So a local band who has like a house that they practice in and all live in was like, well, you can have the show in our basement. So Cameron told all the comics, hey, there's a basement show. I don't know if somebody had dropped or what the deal was, but they needed a comic. So Ray was on the show. He's like, oh, I just met a comic. He seems cool. So he hooks me up with Cameron. Cameron's like, can you do 15 minutes? Now, dude, I shit you not, I was 3 weeks into comedy.
Oh.
I had done 3 sets here at Mojo's. 3 5-minute sets. So I'm like, well, yeah, 3 times 5 is 15. Of course I have 15 minutes. So we go to this house show, and dude, it was nuts. People just fucking drink. They had an inflatable hot tub, like, off to the side of, like, the stage. Drinking. I was like, hey, where can I smoke? And they're like, cigarettes outside. I'm like, weed? They're like, smoke weed inside. So I'm like smoking hitters during my set and shit. So I pretty much, because when Amy and I started, we didn't know the whole point of an open mic was to, like, figure out a set and then work on it, work on jokes, you know, repeat them. So the first time we came here, we wrote a 5-minute set. And then the second time we came here, we wrote a different 5-minute set.
Yeah.
And I think it was about a month and a half later that someone went up to Amy and was like, you can repeat jokes. Like, it's okay. And we're like, wait, you can? You know, we didn't know. So I did my 15 minutes, and it was actually, like, super chill. And, like, you know, the audience was really receptive. And then same thing. He's like, yeah, do 15, but if you want to do more, fuck it. And I think I ended up doing, like, 20, 22. And it was a blast. So that's how Cameron and I met. So then after that, I'm like, well, I got to check out this dude's show, like, at the actual venue. And dude, I fell in love with the Donut. It's such a crazy venue. So I was just there every month, you know, for the comedy show. And back then, there were so few comics in the scene that he would book me 1 month. He would, I would go there just to watch. Someone would drop. He'd be like, you want to just do? And then the next month, he would just book me again. And so it got to a point where he even said, he's like, I got to stop booking you so much. But I was still there. So after a while, he's like, you want to just, like, help me run these shows? Because I think by that time, Otter had stopped. It was just him. And that's a lot of shit, too.
I did that. I produced 3 or 4 shows in Waukegan solo.
No.
Oh, my God, dude.
Everything I produce,
I'll never do that again.
At least 2 other people with me.
Yeah.
Shots and Giggles now has 5 producers.
Okay, all right. That's very manageable.
Yeah. And what I love about that is when people hound me to get on the show, I'm like, my opinion means 1/20th of absolutely nothing. So.
Yeah, dude. I did. It was me and the owners, the owners approached me, and then and they would do the flyer or something like that, but and they'd promote some people, but it was like, oh my God, dude. Yeah. I would get blocked from Facebook because I would DMing people, like, at night and be like, hey, the show, blah, blah, blah. Hey, the show, blah, blah. And like, you are spam, and I would have to wait for the next day, and it's like,
I've seen friendships end over aggressive promotion of, like, shows and other events.
Oh, yeah. This one dude, I was just going through my messages, and maybe it's like, because I get home. I don't get home till 11:30, or I live out, you know, in Waukegan, so I get home from a mic in the city at, I don't know, 11 something, and I'm sitting there just, you know, all right, let me do an hour of messaging. This is like 2 weeks before the show.
Yeah.
And then so the people I think will come locally, so I'm messaging. I'm going to message for an hour, go to bed, and I remember one guy, he was like, hey, do you see what time it is? And he sent me some aggressive. Yeah. And it's like, dude, put your fucking, it's 2 in the morning, I'm not calling you, I'm Facebook messaging you, dude. Yeah. I'm not texting you. I don't have your number. Even if I'm not, it's like Facebook messaging. You don't get fucking emails in the middle of the night from Amazon? Leave me alone. And I immediately deleted them.
Yeah.
Mike Reid. All right. Fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Mike. If you see me, fuck you, Mike Reid. I went to high school with you. Damn. Fuck you. Damn. Fuck you. All right. You're not
I don't think I've
named names.
No, well, I'll name names.
Been blocked.
No, I don't think I've invited people from high school to.
But it was a local. It was like a local.
Yeah,
you know.
No, I get that.
Like, and it's a local bar. Yeah. A local Mexican bar that got shut down because somebody got shot. There was like 2 shootings there. It's the Waukegan thing. A bar opened. The bar across the street that became popular.
Nice.
Just closed down, I think, because of another shooting.
I used to host trivia at a bar that I will not name names of, but it was pretty notorious for having a lot of shitty activity there. But I was like, dude, I host trivia on a Wednesday night. Like, what could go wrong? And then there was 2 people in the parking lot arguing, not related to trivia. And one dude, like, puts a gun outside the window and just, like, fires, like, 5-6 shots straight up into the air. Like, not at anyone, but just straight up. So people are, like, freaking out and, like, moving away from the window. So I'm like, all right, let's just wait for the cops to show up. Cops never showed up. No. I'm like, they never called the cops. This place, like, had articles written about how many times police had been called to that place for, like, fights and violence and other shit. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Just and then last show, some people were messaging me like, "Hey, I don't know, wasn't there just a shooting?" And I was like, "Fuck." And I was like, yeah, but
like,
but not during my comedy shows. Is that going to be? It's
Right.
and it's but they were good shows. We had Calvin Evans. He's on TV. Joey, I forgot, and then I was just towards the end. I was like the last show. I remember I was trying to get drinks. I think Kevin Bozeman was there, and I was trying to get him a drink. He was like, "Oh, let me get a gin and tonic or Jack and Coke." Very simple drink. And then like he didn't. The owner didn't have 3 of those drinks in a row, and I was like, "Fuck, dude!" It was like kind of the beginning of the end, and then I was out, and then somebody else, God bless them, went to try to produce a show there, but at that point it was like, and it was like
some places comedy just doesn't work.
I know, and he brought and I just felt he's a nice guy and a good producer, but I just felt he brought the wrong comics for that room. You know what I mean? It's a ghetto kind of walk. You've been out there. It's not. You know, like, there's comics there that I would love, and I learned a lot from producing. Like, oh, it made sense to me. Like, there's comics that I like and I would want to see, but I was like, I can't bring them to this room. This room is not. They're not going to do well here. Like, this is. These are gangbangers, you know what I mean? They don't want to hear this shit. They don't want to hear this whole thing.
Right.
They're gonna somebody's gonna get fucking stabbed. Yeah. So I don't know. So that was it. I'm done producing.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen a couple shows that try to run at essentially like biker bars.
Yeah.
And it doesn't usually work.
Yeah.
They're not gonna sit there quietly and listen to comedy. They're gonna yell shit and they're gonna throw shit.
I don't know. Yeah. So
it's just.
I don't know. What I was gonna ask you. What are this. Again, I stole this from Rebecca's podcast. I told her, what are your goals in comedy? Do you want to just like doing comedy? Do you have a certain kind of path that you want to take? Or
I don't know if there's like a specific path. I mean, obviously, I feel like everybody's goal in comedy should be the same, which is like, we want to do this for a living. We want to get paid to do this. And I'm not saying like, obviously, I'm not in for the money because that'd be stupid. I've been in it 5 years and I've made negative thousands of dollars. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to do this for a living. I'd like to have, for the most part, my weekends booked.
Do you want to record anything? Like I see a lot of people recording albums and specials and using that, like Oscar, that to break up the clips. At least,
right?
Have you been thinking about recording anything or?
Not really. I mean. That's the thing. Like,
I mean, either
with me, I don't know. Sometimes, you see people who are like, Mike Wiley's got a recording coming up, and like that dude's been in the game for such a long time, and he's so funny, and he 100% should be recording an album. But sometimes you see people recording an album, and you're just like, no, you should not be doing this right now, not at this point. And that's the funny thing is at so many points up until now, I'm like, I could put together a solid. No, the fuck I can't. No, I wouldn't have anything. If I did a recording right now, it would be like a solid 15-ish minutes and then me kind of like limping through the rest. That's the best you're going to get.
And it's funny because I remember when I started, I did one of my first 30-minute sets at some show, and I was like, and I did well. And I did everything kind of at that stage in my career. It should have most of it shouldn't have gone well, but it just kind of clicked. The audience and how everything went and the jokes, it kind of went well. But now it's like, I don't do any of those jokes, you know what I mean? Right. And the ones I want to do, and it's like, even the ones maybe a few months ago, I don't know. Yeah. I'm kind of turning a little bit of a page now, but it's like, I don't do any of those jokes. And it's like, so when I was like, oh, I got 30. It's like, no, dude, like there's 12 to maybe 15 that I like right now, maybe, you know? And it's...
I got a handful of what I like to... almost ironically call classic Timmy Blaze crack-em-ups. I know...
I'm trying to think of one of your bits. I love... Is it the cigarette? Is it involve cigarettes?
The dude blowing a cigarette smoke directly into my face.
Yeah. Is that the nice guy bit? Is that the nice guy?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the nice guy bit.
Yeah, Too Nice and that guy. I kind of smashed those into one joke. But, like... So, I just did a game on microphones Thursday, and I did it with a couple comics who are, like, 1 year in. Maybe 2 years in. And they're like, man, your timing. And we were outside with Nelly, the photographer.
Yeah, Nelly.
Shout out to Nelly.
Shout out.
Fucking Nelly, man. Phenomenal work. So we're standing outside and this dude, oh man, like your timing, your cadence, everything is so good. And like Nelly chuckles because I'm like, yeah, because him personally has heard this shit literally over 100 times. Like you have no idea how long some of these jokes have been
That happened. I was with Oscar at Carvajal at some place in Kenosha, right? And this guy was like watching. Was like, man, we did our sets, and he was watching, and he said, man, I want to do that. Just go up there and just kind of start talking naturally or something. And I was like, dude, that bit you just heard, I've seen personally, probably Oscar like do it over 100 times.
Yep.
And it's like,
yeah. And as a friend and a fellow comic, like you know some of the evolution of that bit. You know, like, oh shit, when he started doing this bit, like he barely had this tag, that tag, and the other, and now it's like, you know. So it's that's one of the things I like, kind of coming up in comedy with Amy, my sister, is her. I've got to see her grow and evolve to the point where, like, you know, I know her style, and I, you know, when we do shows together. You know, when we have the drive back, like, we can have an honest conversation with each other. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't need to say it, but you know, like, this didn't work. That could have done better. This, you know what I mean? So it's really cool to have somebody like that who can be brutally honest about your comedy. Because, dude, so many times, you know, you've had it where, like, you do a set and you're like, okay, that was okay. It wasn't great. I didn't fucking blow the roof off the place, but I didn't shit my pants up there.
what do you do when you're at a show with somebody, your buddy, like an out of town show?
Yeah.
And then they don't have a good set. And they're coming back, I scurry to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then I wait. I scurry. So by the time they get back, fuck, I hope nobody who's done shows with me remembers this. But I go to the bathroom. As I time it, as they're walking off, that I go to the bathroom. So when I come back, I don't see them directly when they get back.
After,
when they have a bad set.
Yeah.
So some people.
So I've only done a handful of road shows, and all the ones I've done, I traditionally will do a road show if I really like the person.
Okay.
Because, dude, if you're going to be on the road with them, you know what I mean? Like, it might as well be someone you get along with and enjoy the company of.
Yeah.
So I've done a handful of road shows that went fine, and, you know, everyone did decent. The one show I did, I was the one that had the garbage set, and the ride back was interesting. Because they did fine.
Was it like an awkward, like they didn't want to bring it up, or
no,
kind
it wasn't
of,
that at all. It was just one of those situations again where, like, I had to go first. Like, looking back on it, the room was not produced well. There was no warning that comedy was happening. There was no proper seating, so you had like a group like right here, stage left, and then like 7 people against the wall to your right, and then like a group of 3 like dead center but like way far in the back. Like, just nothing about it made any sense at all. And there was no like warm up. There wasn't even like a, hey, we're gonna start comedy. Like, a dude just went up, told like half of a joke, and then was like, your first comic drove all the way from Chicago. Which, that's the other thing, like, being from the suburbs, like, whenever I do a show outside of an hour from here, this guy came all the way from Chicago. I'm like, no, I really didn't. I came from Joliet. I hopped right on 80. It was literally nothing. But probably the craziest dynamic is because I've done a lot of shows with Amy, and it's really good when you do a show with her, and it's a great show, and the drive back is awesome. You're in a great mood. You talk about your sets. You talk, oh, did you see that person in the crowd, whatever. But we did one show where it was a fucking shit show, an absolute shit show. I didn't realize until the week leading up to the show that it was booked on St. Patrick's Day at a bar. And let me tell you, when people, and it was a Friday. And when people are at a bar on a Friday and it's St. Patrick's Day, guess what they don't want to pay attention to at all? So, dude, I went up and I couldn't get people to fucking pay attention to save my life. 2 or 3 other comics, same thing. Amy went up and, yeah, during like the beginning of her set, maybe not everyone was paying attention, but like she like really started going, and she started going into like all of her stripper bits. And the crowd would just suddenly, just all eyes on her, paying attention, and she fucking blew the roof off the place. Dude, she crushed her set. And like I said, dude, I fucking did not. So even the walk back to the car to drive home, people were like, yeah, Amy Blaze, fuck yeah, you're hilarious. And then they're like, oh, hey, Tim.
Hey.
What's up? You were there too, I guess. And so, like, the ride home, she's like, dude, that was actually... I'm like, shut up.
That
That fucking sucked. Even the headliner
I don't
was.
want to hear. Yeah, let's start wrapping it up. Is there? I should release this soon, so nothing with a date. Anything I want to promote? You produce?
I produce See You Next Tuesday, every Tuesday night here at Mojo's in downtown Plainfield.
What's your favorite food here?
The Wild Boar Burger.
The Wild Boar Burger. Okay.
Really fucking good. I help produce Shots and Giggles. These are all on Facebook. SYNT Comedy for See You Next Tuesday, and then Shots and Giggles Live Comedy on Facebook. That's the fourth Saturday of every month at the Drunken Donut in Joliet. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we got to get a couple more things together. I mentioned Amy's podcast, The Happy Corner, which she's got a live episode coming up September, I think, 23rd. I don't know the exact day. It's a Monday.
The 23rd. The 22nd is that girl's birthday.
There you go.
Who dumped me.
Ouch.
And is not my girlfriend.
Non-girlfriend.
Okay.
Fuck her. And then hopefully I'm in the works having a podcast. We recorded one episode, so this is very interesting. It's me and Sterling.
Okay.
We are both bearded and bespectacled, and pretty much what it is every episode one of us does research on anything paranormal. And then we read it to the other one, and the other one doesn't know what the research is going to be about. So they kind of come into it fresh, and there's, we kind of take commentary and shit like that. It's called Beards for Fears.
Beards for Fear. Did you ever watch Sightings growing up? Remember Sightings?
Yes, I do remember that
I was
show.
obsessed with Sightings.
I watched, what's the one where where they tell you a bunch of stories, Beyond Belief. Fact or Fiction. Did you watch that one?
That was after Sightings, like
they
6
would tell
years,
you like
right?
a bunch of crazy stories, and you have to guess whether it really happened or not.
Okay.
And then, and Unsolved Mysteries was like my fucking jam when I was a little kid.
I was big Sightings, paranormal.
Paranormal was very intriguing to me, but at the same time,
it was to me. I'm numb. I used to be conspiracy, paranormal, everything. Now,
yeah, I'm.
It's whatever.
I think the way I break it down is as far as like the paranormal
days.
shit, like ghosts and stuff like that, spirits. I'm very I'm agnostic. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So I think we're kind of using this podcast for us to both kind of dive into this world of like paranormal and shit. And like we want to be respectful and open-minded.
You ever go to Bachelor's Grove? Cemetery?
Yes,
haunted? Okay.
I have.
I've been there like 6 times, taken a bunch of pictures. There was a point, anything I could find, like I almost drove to Kansas because some dude was like, dude, there's a gateway to hell in Kansas. Somewhere in Kansas, that's his house. Yeah. And I almost drove. And then, I used to be into it. But
so, and I live in Joliet, and that's actually one of our first episodes. I did there's so many different famous haunted places in Joliet. Dude, one of them was seriously walking distance from where we recorded the episode.
You know Handlebar?
Handlebar?
Mustache, Cigars comic?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. He does the haunted tour or something. Yeah, so he knows a bunch of those spots.
I've been reaching out to people on Facebook, just kind of getting a general idea of
he runs a tour.
Shit like that. And a lot of people have reached out and given me really cool stories about shit they've experienced. But yeah, a couple people on my friends list on Facebook are like, oh, I'm a paranormal investigator. I got some crazy stories all the time. Yeah.
You have friends that are paranormal investigators?
I do one of those things pretty much now as a comic, where as long as we have like at least half a dozen mutual friends, I'm like, yeah, sure.
I think everybody's a cop or a bot, and I freak out. And then,
oh, dude, if it's some chick with like huge tits, I'm like, obviously this chick doesn't actually want to be friends with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there are certain comics that are like,
and you see them, come on, dude, like what's wrong with you? Dude. Like, you know, that's a God.
I thought you
and
were
it's
smarter
comics
than
you
that.
kind of respect, and then I mean, you did until you saw that. But,
right.
And then
you're like, come
it.
on, you don't think like some chick that's hot saw your comedy and was like, yeah.
All right, so give me one more the name of the podcast one more time.
Beards for Fears.
Beards for Fears. Do you have a logo?
We do.
That sounds so cool. There's gonna be shirts.
I believe. Yeah, we're going for shirts. I know one of the things we're waiting on right now is a theme song. So it's just kind of.
Oh yeah, I got to message my buddy I need unlicensed music.
There you go.
So these are gonna have no music, I guess, if I release one Wednesday.
But,
okay, yeah.
Dude, this was so much fun.
All right, this is fun. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
All right, Giovanni Diaz, Lobo Den Podcast. Oh, yeah, what's my shit? Lobo 9110, because that's what I got on AOL1, so I use it for everything.
There you go.
And then, Lobo Den Podcast.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have stuff coming up.
Just Timmy Blaze on Facebook and...
TimmyBlaze.
That's
Amy's
the
a
one.
sister. I thought you guys were married.
Nope.
For the
Not
first year.
anymore.
Not anymore.
And that's AIMEE, because she's weird.
AIME. Yeah, Giovanni. JHOVANY. DIAZ. My parents are Mexican. Didn't know how to spell. All right. Thank you for being on. All right. Let's get this one.
Lobo them, lobo them, lobo them. 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 It's the Lobo them. Lobo them. Lobo them. Lobo them. It's the Lobo them. Lobo them. Lobo them. Lobo them. It's a Lobo den, it's a Lobo den. Lobo den, Lobo den, Lobo den. Lobo den. Lobo den. Lobo den. Lobo den.